So our next chapter is called Intuition. It is by logic that we prove, but by intuition that we discover. It's late, broken streetlights flicker sporadically, and you're walking down the street by yourself and you notice someone coming the other way. He could be on his way home or simply looking for an open convenience store to buy milk for his toddler. But the bottom line is you're alone and something doesn't feel right. He's done nothing to indicate he's a menace, but your stomach is sending signals to your brain, alerting you that something is off. You cross the street, and it's not until he's out of sight that you allow yourself to breathe a sigh of relief. A stranger, a bad feeling. The sense you should avoid contact. This is intuition. Sometimes intuition is called an inner voice, reading between the lines, deduction, or simply paying attention. But at a very basic level, intuition is known without any conscious sense of signal, detail, or rationale about why you know. Intuition is the impulse response when a father reaches out right before his baby takes a tumble onto the sidewalk. Having been in that position, I guarantee you he will not be able to articulate exactly why he reached out at that particular moment. He just knew he should. These subconscious signals were once called women's intuition because some assumed that men could not and would not access, and certainly would never rely on, their subconscious or emotions or clues on how to live. If a man ever came close to trusting his intuition, he would say it was a gut reaction. But we've all, men and women, been in a situation where we have acted based on a hunch or a feeling. Even the military is getting into the act. The U.S. Navy started a program to study how troops use intuition in battle to gauge danger and anticipate problems. The idea for the program came from the anecdotal evidence from troops who reported feeling a strange sense of danger just before encountering an attack or an explosive device. In these cases, it's not an exaggeration to say that intuition saves lives. Based on the knowledge we've learned and experienced we've had over the years, intuition informs our judgment and our ability to make fast decisions. It's different from thinking, though, and not quite as out there as previously thought. As it turns out, we actually are receiving data when we have gut feelings. We're just receiving it on a more subconscious level. As noted, scientist Johann Salk put it, intuition will tell the thinking mind where to look next. Artists have also long understood this. In fact, famed film director and Twin Peaks creator David Lynch said, intuition is the key to everything in painting, filmmaking, business, everything. I think you could have an intellectual ability, but if you can sharpen your intuition, which they say is emotion and intellect joined together, then a knowingness occurs. So the question becomes, what does your knowingness look like? Can you recognize it when it happens? Can you use it to your advantage to guide your life and help you make better decisions? I think so. It turns out that intuition is a muscle and it can be developed, not unlike the way that you would work your pecs or glutes in the gym. Interestingly, the more you practice and hone your intuition, as Zen teachers should, the easier it is to become it easier it is to it easier it becomes to notice, trust, and follow those impulses. But tuning into intuition takes effort and practice. How do you practice intuition? I suggest starting off by being still and quiet while enhancing your ability to listen to your inner voice. Stopping the white noise of the world allows you to burn through the day's distractions and chaos and access the deeper parts of your psyche and soul, where you can focus on the hunches that are trying to speak to you. It's more difficult to recognize intuition when you're doing a million things at once. It's harder to listen to your gut when car horns are honking, dogs barking, and babies are crying. Once you once you're still, silent, and listening, you may recognize a twingle or gut feeling. At that point, stop and ask yourself, what is this sensation alerting me to? It may be that your subconscious has registered something, however peripheral, that needs your attention. You are then free to tune into that signal or wavelength and act on it accordingly, whether it's at home with family or, say, even in the classroom with your students. As a committed educator, you probably already rely on intuition as a tool for excellent teaching. Have you ever anticipated when a child who is struggling with a concept needs a touch on the shoulder or supportive ear. Sometimes the signals are overt, but sometimes the nuances of human behavior make them less obvious, and yet somehow as teachers we know we can sense. With this just a slight vibe and often little conscious data, we can confidently say this child needs help and I need to keep this student on my radar. As Zen teachers, we need to remember that intuition is a gift we already have, a gift we must first acknowledge, then hone, then trust. So here's your Zen teacher assignment for today. It says set aside time today to experience stillness, silence, and just tune into your intuition. And there are some questions for you. What is your gut telling you? What vibes or signals are you receiving? In terms of faith, where might God be leading you? Regarding your classroom, which students need your direction or encouragement? And what is your intuition saying to you? Listen closely.